Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make this adorable little beachcomber pouch from Needle and Anchor. I'm going to walk you through how to modify the pattern so that you can make it out of clear vinyl and jelly vinyl. I know jelly vinyl and clear vinyl are all the rage. I'm going to attempt to show you how to make this. Binding it with actually clear TPU. It sounded good in my head. It really, really did. It was definitely more difficult than I thought. So I'll try to walk you through what I did. You do not need to use clear TPU to bind things, but it is pretty. I mean, you can't really see any of the edges and they're nice and smooth. There's no sharp edges where your seams are. So it does look kind of cool, but it is a little more difficult, but I'll show you. I'll show you how. So today I'm going to be using clear vinyl. This is a Rainbow Heart clear vinyl from J&R Edwards. This comes out at the end of June. This is Jelly Vinyl from Weft and Warp. My little label here is from Carolina Little Stitches. They have such adorable labels. Definitely check them out. And then I'm also using this logo label from Heartwood and Hide. I love using their labels. They just have really great customizable labels. Jade's wonderful. I'm also going to be showing you a little tool that I use to put my zipper in that I just got in from Jolie Creations. It's really neat. It's this little small hemostats. So that's how I get my 90-degree angle in here, and I get it to stay put as I'm sewing. So you'll get to see that too. I will put all of the materials down in the description that I'm using, links to some of the other videos that you're going to see today. This is part of a sewing marathon for the Beachcomber pouch. So I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. I have really fun stuff coming up that you are going to want to be watching. There's some really, let's just say it's an interesting series of videos that I'll be posting soon along with some friends. So definitely stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, let's get sewing this little pouch. Okay, so for my clear vinyl version, using the boxed corner option, these are all the pieces that you need. So it's not a lot. So basically you're going to have your zipper. Your zipper dimensions do not change. So this is exactly the same length as what's indicated in the pattern. I have 2 top bands. I did mine out of jelly. I have these right and left side contrast pieces out of jelly. I did modify the sizes of these a little bit. So all I did was on this long flat side, I just trimmed off 3/8 of an inch. So that was done on all 4 pieces. And then for my zipper tab, I did reduce the size of this to 1 inch by 1.5 inch. And then I cut out these alternative exterior center pieces. So this is a different version that you'll find in the pattern that has the markings for the boxed corners. So I have 2 of those. Then I just have some scraps of clear vinyl. I had this left over from another project. These are cut at 3/4 of an inch wide. You have, I mean, you can make them out of clear vinyl. You can use waterproof canvas, you can use jelly, vinyl, anything. This is really going to act as your binding on the inside. It does not have to be vinyl. You can use bias tape, you can use cotton woven, anything that you have. I just find that using some of my scraps is easy, and especially if it's like a clear vinyl or a jelly, it tends to work out pretty well because I don't have to do a whole lot with it. So I just have a bunch of scraps of those to bind my edges. And then I have a label for my logo, and I just have something that's more decorative. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our centers together. So I'm just going to take one of these, and I'm going to take a set of my side contrast pieces. And the way that these are going to go on is we're literally just going to place this and line up our top and side edges together here and here. And I'm using some double-sided tape that I just placed on the angled edges here. And really all you're going to do is line it up and do it as best as you can. It kind of it may take you a little bit to get everything lined up correctly. And you'll do this on both sides. Okay, so the way you know that this is lined up correctly is take a top band and just lay it down and just make sure that this is now the same width. And this one is, so I'll move on to the next one. Okay, so now that we have our side contrast pieces put on, and they're just adhered with double-sided tape, we're going to go ahead and stitch along the angled edges. We're going to top stitch down here 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Okay, so this is what it should look like now. So we're going to take one of our top bands. We're going to do the same thing we did as the side side contrast pieces. Turn this upside down for myself. I'm going to put a little bit of 1/8 inch double-sided tape at the top, all the way down. Okay, so we're just going to line this up around 3/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, however much you feel like. Mine is a little off here, but that's okay. Just try and make it as even as you can. good. And do the other side. What I like to do is I like to place both pieces on top of each other just to make sure they're about the same height. And if they're not, I do adjust a little bit. And mine are slightly off. The only reason I do this is because when we go to sew everything else together, I just want to make sure it doesn't look kind of wonky. My sides are matching up pretty well. My sides here are good. I am not the best at like cutting out vinyl, so I tend to be off slightly when I do this. I'm always having to just adjust it a little bit. I think I'm actually pretty good. I think I'm okay. Okay, so the next step is going to be the zipper. Go ahead and mark 5/8 of an inch away from the end on both sides. And what you're going to do, just make sure your zipper pull is on. I do this so many times without the zipper pull on. So on the open edges, just mark 5/8 of an inch away from the short end. And then you're going to pinch where you made the mark. Just pinch it together. And then move that folded piece up to the teeth so it's at a 90-degree angle. So pinch and pull it over. You can either clip the edges or you can do what I do. And I use these little hemostats that I got from Jolie. They're awesome. They're the perfect size for zippers. And what I do is I just kind of clip these hemostats on and they lock. So now it's locked in place. Okay? And once it's locked in place, you can come over and we're going to stitch all the way down the sides here, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we have our hemostats holding everything in place. Go ahead and place your needle down. Take your first few stitches while holding your hemostats. Go ahead and release them. They lock. And then you can keep sewing. I like to backstitch a little bit too. And then we'll do the other side. So again, we're going to pinch here. We're going to move this over to this side. And then we're going to stitch just like we did on the other side. There we go. So now following the instructions, we're going to go ahead and trim down our zipper. Right about here. I like to seal my ends. Okay, now we're going to take our zipper tab. I had just put some double-sided tape to the right and left of my center. Go ahead and place the end of your zipper to about the middle. And then we're going to fold over. So just press that down. and go ahead and fold over. Add a clip just so it stays put. And we'll go ahead and top stitch. I'm going to top stitch about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the zipper tab. Then you can go ahead and trim the edge of your zipper tab. So that it's flush. Okay, so now take one of your 2 pieces, decide which piece it is that you want to use. And this is the point where you can add a label, or you can leave it alone. I'm going to go ahead and add one, I think. I'm deciding. Well, let's go ahead and do this too. I'm going to add a little like handmade label as well. I'm going to lift up my top part here a little bit. So we can have a little cuteness. Set that back down. We're going to do all of our top stitching on this top part all together here. Okay, so decide where you want your label and go ahead and add it. I like to add mine up here. I try to find around where the center is. I think that's about it. I think that looks okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and stitch our label on, and we're going to go ahead and top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from this bottom edge here all the way down and on the other side. Oh, if you get a kind of a rat's nest under here, I think it was because of me manually lifting my foot. Just kind of pull it. I'm going to have to kind of entangle it a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to add our zipper. So go ahead and unzip it. And I'm going to make some chalk marks. So I fold it in half and I line up my 2 edges here. I find my center. just use a piece of chalk. This is just a regular pastel pencil from the art supply store. Much cheaper than like quilt chalk. Okay, so we have our centers marked. And go ahead and mark your center on your vinyl too. I'm not sure if you can see this. Remark these. Okay. So all we're going to do is we're going to line this up with the zipper. So we're going to add more tape. So make sure, which I did not do, that this line extends far enough up that you'll be able to see it even when the tape is on. Make sure you're using a marking pen that comes off. That's why I'm using chalk. And go ahead and add a strip of tape down each side of your zipper. Okay. So I like to have my zipper closing to the left. So this is where how I want to orient mine, like this. I'm going to lay this piece on top of my zipper, lining up my centers. Okay, so you'll have an even amount of space on each side. And we're going to go ahead and just press this down over the tape. It's really hard to see on some zippers, but this one doesn't have it. On some zippers, you'll actually see lines that go all the way across. And I tried to line it up there. This one's a little funny where I don't have that. So I'm going to try to line it up as best as I can and make sure that it's straight. So I try to make sure it's about 1/4 of an inch away from my zipper teeth, around there. I don't want to go too close and I don't want to go too far, because then your zipper can get a little wavy if you're too far. Oops. You're too far away. I have no idea if this is straight or not. I'm going to go by how far I am here from this top part of my panel to my teeth. I think a little bit off. Okay, just press it down. I'm going to rub off my center mark a little bit. Go ahead and do the other side of it too. Okay, so when you close this, it should be pretty straight. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when it's done. So with this still open, I'm going to pull my zipper down, and we're going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of this pink jelly. I'm going to start my stitch right where my zipper is. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to start down here where the zipper is, and I'm going to stop where the zipper tab ends. I'm going to back stitch too. Make sure you back stitch. And you'll do this on both sides. Okay, so now we're going to put it all together. Go ahead and flip this over. We're going to place some DST, some double-sided tape along all of the edges. Okay. So now with right sides together, we're just kind of line everything up. And let's go ahead and just stick a, just going to press down a piece of clear vinyl. We're just going to line this up with the center. Just press that down. What's great is vinyl sticks to itself. So you can kind of just make sure you're matching your sides, all of your edges. And then we're just going to fold this over. I'm going to use binder clips to keep all of this together because it is a little thicker. Go ahead and trim off my excess. And then we'll stitch it 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, and we'll do the other side the same way. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing at the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to box our corners. So to box your corners, go ahead and just put your hand inside. We're going to just kind of meet your seams. This seam and this seam should match. And then go ahead and push out. We're going to sandwich, we're going to butterfly these. So one of these will face one side and one of the seams is going to face the other side. That way you can reduce bulk. It's a little tricky because again, vinyl likes to stick to itself. You got to kind of make it bend the way that you want. this point, I'm just going to go ahead and just clip this down just because I have it in place. And I'm going to do it down here too, just so it doesn't slide around on me. Then I'll go ahead and put my double-sided tape and everything. But I need it to behave a little bit before I can be confident that it's going to stay. Okay. Let's see if I have some strips that'll fit. I think these two will be fine. Okay. Add one more clip just to make it stay straight for me so I can do my tape. Okay, so we're going to lay our tape down on this straight edge. Again, this may not cooperate very well for you. That's okay. Do what you can. The only reason I like to use tape is because it does just make it a little bit easier for me to fold everything over and keep it in place as I'm sewing. You do not have to use double-sided tape if you don't want to. I like to. I know many people do not like double-sided tape. I'm a fan. Makes things way easier. Okay, again, just put this down close to the middle of your strip. Remove your tape. And fold over. It's going to get really, really tricky where there's a lot of bulk. Trying to get it to fold, so we're absolutely going to need clips. If you're using bias tape, I found that bias tape was way easier than something thick like this. This is definitely the harder of all of the binding methods. So I will warn you about that. If you're looking for something easy, bias tape. Keep in mind, bias tape is a fiber, so if you're trying to make this entire thing more wipeable, bias tape might not be what you want to go with. Maybe stick with like waterproof canvas or jelly or something. Jelly is definitely easier to manipulate than like the TPU that I'm using. It's not wanting to stay. Actually going to try something, so bear with me. Actually going to staple the end, then I'm going to cut. Oops, maybe not. So the excess that I'm going to cut away, I'm just going to staple that down. Just so it stays in place for me so I can get my needle started. Oh, that worked lovely. Okay. Maybe not as lovely as I thought. It's fine. Machine's making noise. It's not a good sign. Hand crank if you need to. I'm worried about the bulk, so hand cranking where I can. Oh yeah, I got a big old rat's nest down here. I wonder what I did. It is definitely not happy about it. We're going to try this again. Okay, we're going to try this again. Hoping for better results. To check my needle, and it's not gummy or anything. I have not been using Sewer's Aid. Maybe that's my issue. I like Sewer's Aid. It helps my metal foot glide over vinyl, but I haven't needed it for this, so I haven't tried. Be my issue. It's obviously a top tension issue. Not sure why it's doing that, but okay. It's definitely better. It's still not great, but it will do. Okay, next side. We're going to do the same thing. Just make sure when you're boxing your corners, the way that you're folding each of the seams is going in the same direction as you did on the other side. So this one is facing to the left. So I'm going to make sure it's still facing to the left when I box this corner. Just flatten it out as much as you can. Okay. Some more tape. Almost done. It's a really easy bag to make. Okay. I think we are done. So go ahead and turn your bag out. If you need to use a hair dryer, if it's a little stiff for you, now is the time. Just heat it up a little bit so that you can birth it a little bit easier. Push out your corners. Here we have it. Beachcomber pouch is now complete. Such a cute little pouch. It's such an easy sew. I would say that TPU binding, that's where it's going to be a little harder. So if you do want to challenge yourself, try it out. But otherwise, I think bias tape or jelly might be a lot easier for you. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure you like and comment on this video. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to try to do a lot more videos. So make sure you get notified of when I'm going to be posting videos next. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy. Please make sure you also join my Facebook group so that you can share any of your creations you make with my patterns. But otherwise, you will find links to everything that I used in the description of this video, along with the links to the other sewists that are involved with this sewing marathon of the Beachcomber pouch.